I remember like after a couple of conversations with one particular company, they were like, yeah, so what's your reason for, for wanting to do this? I said, well, we don't. We just, politely having a conversation with you. We don't need to do this. We don't want to. We love what we do. We're happy to carry on doing this. It's fun. Yeah, like this is what we're kind of born to do. We love waking up and going to work and bringing out new products and, engaging with our customers and finding what they want next.
Hi everybody and welcome to FEBE Founder Stories, and it's awesome to have James and Wayne with me today from the Skinny Food Co.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, and you've come from Nottingham, right?
Yeah, travelled up from Nottingham to down the train.
Yeah.
Bit brave, there's lots of cancellations, so, but...
Well, yeah, the first one was cancelled actually.
Was it?
The 10-12 and it was cancelled.
Oh, so bless you. So you made sure you definitely got an early one, so you weren't, I mean, you're even here early,
which, to be fair, like for us, that's quite off cue because we are normally last
to
minute.
the wire.
Yeah, we are to the wire. Yeah.
But listen, congratulations. First, huge we are so proud to have you in the Growth 100. You are two very lovable founders. We actually did a Founder Stories, a written interview with you, and just thought, this is so good. We've got to get you in front of the cameras and, really starting to bring the real personality that you both have for this. So thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Lovely to be with you. Great to have you on the list. And I think what would be lovely to do today is just really understand how this business has grown so fast. A lot of people come up with ideas for products and brands. Many don't succeed, some do. But what you have achieved in such a short period of time is absolutely mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to me. Is it mind-blowing to you? If I'd have taken you back 4 years, right? You started 4 years ago. If I'd have taken you 4 years ago today and said, this is where you'll be in 4 years, what would you have said?
I knew it would go well. Probably has exceeded our expectations a little bit.
A little bit or a lot?
Look, I'm confident in what I market and selling, so and I've had a lot of success with other brands when I was working freelance before, or when I was at my previous job as well. So I believe in my own abilities to market. So I knew it would go well because I backed myself.
Yeah.
But in terms of how well, it is up for debate really. I thought we could get as big as we are already. So probably a little bit further down the line. So what I'd say is it's exceeded my expectations in terms of probably a little bit sooner than I would have thought. May have took a little bit longer to catch on, but like I say, word of mouth is great. How we market and our route to market, really kind of grabs people's attention really. And then,
and same question, Wayne?
Yeah, to be fair, year 1, year 2 was going really, really good, but when COVID struck, it was like a case of it just got springboarded. More eyes were on healthy eating, reading back of pack, and it was just such, like I say, it's so fast growth. I mean, when we sat down, James, to be fair, he wanted like 1,000. He wanted 1,000 products. So we're a little bit behind with like 280, but...
Why so many products? Because don't they say you've got to create a smaller amount of products and focus on those products? Why?
They do, and I mean, to be fair, every single buyer I've ever spoken to, whether it be Morrison's or Asda, they are literally, the quote unquote is, you are a buyer's worst nightmare. Yeah. Because what category do you fall into? Because we've got spreads, we've got syrups, we've got snacking, we've got... It literally there's 20 categories and there's 280 products.
I'll tell you what, it's a good example when we've been at trade shows is people say, oh, how long have you been going? And at one point there was like a year and a half in and we had about 80 products. And I was like, oh, you're about 7 years old? I was like, no, about a year and a half. And they're like, what, how have you done this? And our response is like, well, we just don't sleep. We're just working all the time.
Is that the case?
To be fair, like there has been, a lot of the early days, like the first year or two is like 14, 16, 18 hour days.
Really?
Doing whatever it takes to get the job done, like all day long if necessary. Myself and Wayne, Wayne is, your kind of background is more like design focused. Mine is marketing focused, and then together our skills complementing each other. So we didn't need to hire a marketer to begin with. We didn't need to hire a designer. So we saved money in that way. So in terms of our investment into the company, it was minimal, and then we was able to just work so hard with our skill set and achieve really.
I think it was only $1 grand or $2 grand?
3,000.
Yeah.
Is it 3,000?
Yeah. Between us.
Between you?
I did it even clever because I used $2 grand and James had $1 grand of mine. Let me put the first one in. Let me show your commitment. Then I'll come in. But like James says, because the skill set we have, I mean, behind the scenes, I've been in and around supply chain and sourcing products and designing for about 20 years. So I've got a really good portfolio of contacts, of whether it be source, whether it be syrup, whether it be rice, anything from UK the way to China. And when I reached out to James on a previous business I had, which we approved that with social media, if you can grow a brand through social media, and my kind of ethos behind it all is, look, if you can design something that looks great, tastes great, has great benefits, and then you can market it.
Win-win.
Win-win, really, and that's the success of the brand. Like
You
James
make it
says,
sound so simple.
it's
Really not,
it's
though,
not
is it?
simple, because to be fair, what probably takes an hour, I probably spend 3 or 4 hours on it because I'm such an obsessive person. And I just wanted to get it right. But at my own deprivation of probably sleep.
Yeah, well, let's just go into that, because that's really interesting that you said, what, if 14, 15, 16, well, I think you said 18 hours by the end of it.
Yeah, if need be. I mean, because even when you want to go to sleep, you're just up thinking. You know, you can't sleep because there's. I mean, especially with us, because we've got so many different products. I'm thinking, like, right, what product next?
So you are both obsessive characters, clearly.
Yeah. I think so.
And that's what got you so. Would you say that is a big part then of what was the catalyst for such quick growth? Because you never slept. You were constantly working on the product.
Yeah. I mean, we've never thought of it like that, to be honest. But it's probably a good. Yeah, it's probably a good shout, to be honest.
Yeah.
And around the time that we kind of launched, we had another business ourselves. But around when we launched, both my kids was diagnosed autistic, so there's got to be some form. I mean, my mum's, she showed signs. She's never been diagnosed, but she's got some forms of ADHD or OCD, or even, I mean, she's dyslexic. It's a tough family we kind of grew up in, and it was a case of, we just noticed when the kids were a bit younger that their attention went off the radar even more. So to be fair, when they had sugars, so when we have, like, on a Saturday morning, even to this day, we still have pancakes, and it was always with the most chocolate brand on the market. But they'd have it, and then most kids kind of climb the walls when they have sugar anyway. But ours,
I climb the walls when I have sugar.
but they don't really climb the walls. They do, but then more case than normal. They literally probably spend the rest of the day on the toilet, to be fair, because the gut, the way the body works with the sugars, and it just affects the brain. It's just like they're just in pain, and it's just. I mean, every time, and then in the end, it's like not having the chocolate spread.
So was that therefore a kind of focal driving point to therefore create something?
Yeah, there was this
that
mixed in with both. We've got both relatives diabetes, so.
Yeah. So diabetes, the autism you were saying,
was
affected by the sugar.
Yeah, and then ultimately, as you've always been around the products with the packaging, it's not a packaging designer, but you've known through working in your previous brand that if someone could bring a product to market that wasn't in glass, because we were starting our brand through social media and online.
Yeah,
so it had to be crucial that we couldn't ship glass because we'd have so many returns. So then you was like, well, it has to be plastic. Little kind of quirky things like that, where these decisions that through insider knowledge, whether it be James working or me working, we just brought it together, and it was a case of, let's just bring this brand together. Because
you've mentioned the kind of personal elements of what's driving you in terms of, give us a flavour of your background, like growing up. I really want to explore this obsession, because it's clearly has worked to a big advantage for you, because it's been a key catalyst of what you've achieved. What is it that was driving you from growing up in terms of your backgrounds?
For me, we didn't have a lot growing up. I always had things I needed, but not things I wanted all the time.
Yeah.
So if I wanted something, I'd normally have to go and get it my own way. In terms of, like for instance, when I was younger, I used to clean cars and stuff like that to earn a few quid extra.
From what age?
For what, sorry?
From what age?
Probably from just young teens, really, like 13, something like that.
So if you wanted it, you had to go now.
Yeah, so then I built up a few regulars, and then it turned into like doing some car valeting and stuff like that. It's just pocket money, really, But it gave me the taste of money, and then with that I could buy things I like, a bit more, like I say, and then things like. I started selling on eBay as well when I was quite young as well.
Did you?
It all started off with a Xbox game, a singing game that it was dusty, it was old. I was thinking, right, I'd try and, we'll try this eBay thing, lots of people are talking about it at the moment. It was like, listed a few things just because I wanted to get rid of them. I thought, why put them in the bin, let's just sell them, and there was like 150 something people within a few days that were watching this particular microphone and game. And I was like, that's interesting. And it just gave me an idea. I thought, well, I need to get more of these. So I found a supplier on Amazon, and I'd never even heard of Amazon at the time. It was like, this is like when I was probably about 15, 16, something like that. So I was buying microphones from Amazon to sell on eBay. and I was making about £15 profit on some per unit, really.
Really?
So sometimes I'd wake up on like a Sunday morning with emails saying I've accumulated about £250, £300 of microphone sales. People just want it. It was weird, but like just things like that.
And you found that addictive?
Yeah, I guess in ways. And then even things like I was just looking at prices of things. So I remember there was a time where PC World was selling a game at a certain price, and then everyone else in the market was like 15 quid cheaper. So I bought loads off PC World, set the price in the middle, and sold loads that way as well for eBay. So just stuff like that. It's just being, just kind of being on trend and looking at things.
So it seems from, and I'll come I want to come to your story, but it seems from what you're saying, the entrepreneurial streak was something that was very much within you, from a desire to therefore go out and get what you wanted in life, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And how about yourself, Wayne?
Yeah, so we had a broken family, council estate. I was about 4 when the parents divorced. We moved to, literally it was a 1-bedroom flat. So in the flat, which the whole flat was probably the size of this studio, but within there, imagine partitions. So, I mean, I got it good because I had a single bed and I could touch both walls, and one of the walls was the wardrobes. So that wardrobe was my wall, and poor sister had to share a double bed with my mum.
Right.
All the way up until probably start of junior school. And then we upgraded to, I think, a 3-bedroom council house.
Right.
And yeah, it's a case we didn't have much money, so same with like James. I mean, I was working at the age of probably 12, helping mum working in a cafe, breaking down beds, as in doing the linen and laundry. And then I was never really academic at school. My focus was always on art and design.
Really?
Yeah, I'd find myself sat there and I'd just thinking about what I'm going to be doing tonight or tomorrow, which was probably normally playing Hounds and Hares or Knock a Door Run, to be fair, because we didn't have much money. We had to make our own games up back then.
It's a good game, that.
Yeah, it was a good game. And it was a case of I just wasn't interested until it got to art or pottery, and then I was focused. I thought, you know what? And I left school with like 1 GCSE, which it wasn't even an A, it was a B. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and do them again now. And I did them again, and I failed them again. And I just got an E. And I thought, you know what? Well, I'm never going to be doing anything with science or English, so I thought I'm just going to be more practical. So I went and became a lifeguard, a waiter, and worked in reception. So I had 3 jobs while I held down my beat. I had to do a national diploma because I didn't have my GCSEs. So I did a national diploma, which springboarded me onto the BTEC, which then got me onto the BA Honours. So I managed to get a degree in the end.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I kind of take from it is the fact that I'm just really organised. The fact that on the day doing exams, I totally hate it. You give me a module to work on and go away and build something, or go away to actually say, here, go and research all these products, or whatever it may be, go and research something. I found that more exciting than just sitting at a desk and just doing an exercise. It was a case of, I just kind of brought that through, because people say, well, you did a degree, would you recommend it? It's like, well, I'd probably put kind of application versus education. And even to this day, both of my kids are homeschooled.
Really?
They're both autistic, so they don't fall into the normality of the schooling system. The way they're designed, they're just, same again, there must be something in me that's been passed down, because, yeah, the way you think, it's totally different. So we don't really teach them to make money, really, to be fair. It's more a case of just, I've had such a terrible upbringing that it was always a case I wanted to build this big house, to be able to have these really nice things, but I always thought it was for myself. But when I kind of sit back and think, well, we had that original chat, I've built all this around them. It's not actually for me, it's the fact that kids don't really like going to the cinema because it's too busy. We don't like going to shopping centres. We don't like going on big country walks. So it's a case of we've built this kind of little community with ourselves because they just feel at ease. And so I've kind of, I've been doing this for about 25 years now.
But I think, sorry, just to pick up on that, you know, when we did the interview with you for the launch of Growth 100, you know, you were on the Zoom call, you had your gym in the background. And it was just because your story is just so heartfelt. It comes from such an amazing place. It was lovely to be able to see that you'd achieved that, you know. And
absolutely. I mean,
and that was lovely. And you mentioned the pool as well in the background.
Well, it's terrible, but I've always wanted as a kid. I mean, we never had much money to go to swim baths. In case, I always wanted a swimming pool, and I just managed to get lucky with a negotiation on a house, which, I mean, I live absolutely in the middle of nowhere, so the price we pay for it is phenomenal. You pick it up and drop it anywhere else, and you're going to times it by 3 or 4, easy. Really? But it was a case of, I've always wanted land, I've always wanted a pool, I've always wanted a tennis court, just random things. But then it's a case of, It's so I can enjoy the things with the kids because I never had
Yeah.
time to do it. So as kids, we couldn't afford to do gymnastics. We couldn't afford to go swimming baths. We had to sneak into it was called Jungle Gyms in Blackpool. Literally, I think we had like 50p, and this was enough to get your food. It was a case of, actually, I'd rather sneak in through the back door and have my 50p to be able to go and buy some sweets or something. It was just because that's what kids did. Or even because we couldn't afford. I was on school meals through the school, so I didn't have much money. I think I had 50p for a bus. It was a 4-mile walk home, so I'd rather go spend the 50 pence buying some products from the shop to try and sell for another £1 so I could upgrade on my sweets, so then I could walk home for 4 miles. And I did it. We did it the other day, actually. We were driving through back where I used to live in Cleveland, and I was like, and my little lad would go, oh, not that story again, not the 1-bedroom story. This is the walk, is it?
So this is why this is such a great duo here, because you've both got stories, backgrounds that have created this desire to achieve what you've done. Yeah, great skills that complement each other. You've come together, and hence we have this fantastic company. And you can tell when you post things on social media, you have got people that really love your brand. You know, the amount of comments you get, the likes you get, the interactions you get. How have you managed to, and because this is a real challenge for brands, how do you manage to therefore get your personalities and the essence of who you are into your product? Because that's clearly what's happened. You've managed to somehow blend them, because that's what's making it so relatable.
I think if you see, I think we posted this morning, and we had a big meeting yesterday with the design team.
I saw it, and you got loads of comments, people really engaging, giving you advice. It's brilliant. James will know, but I don't know what it is, I'm just really, really strict on myself, and I don't like change. Same again, probably just the way I'm designed. And we brought the new design on a few weeks ago, and we thought, you know what, just give me a bit of free reign, let's see what we come with. It is really hard, and I think I put on the message, it's so hard to try and sell a healthy product to someone, because the stigma is it's going to taste naff, it's going to taste leafy, and I think something like 1 in 2 people quit their healthy eating because it's boring and they don't like it. So we had this the meeting yesterday. It was a case of look at this whole new concept. Yes, it can be a little bit off brand, but end of the day, we're a fun brand. I designed it to look American, so it looked really cool and attractive. You're right, it is fun. That's a key word for me that comes across in the look and feel. Yeah,
and someone said in the meeting yesterday, well, but why? Why have we got this woman diving into a pot of coffee? But at the end of the day, it's a fun brand. It's trying to get, first impression on the supermarket shelf is you've got to compete with all these other companies around you. And it's so crucial to have that pop off the shelf. And there's only certain brands that obviously manage to achieve it. And because we're not a huge corporate business, we haven't got all this red tape and all these hoops to jump through. So we designed something yesterday. It can potentially in production in 2 weeks. I mean, there's a reason why there's 280 products. I mean, if you work out the days and the weeks, we've brought out more than one product a week. Try and manage that through the marketing team. And I think it's just trying to be fun, really. Yeah. But trying to attract the kids to eat a healthier chocolate biscuit or a healthier packet of crisps. You can't just be boring and have a pack shot. You've got to attract them, because you've got that literally blink of an eye, you missed it. Yeah. And that's why we're a really fun brand. And
James, would you agree with everything? You know, is there anything that you think Wayne's missed there in terms of how you managed to put your unique kind of fingerprint on your brand?
I think what we try and do as well, on the actual pack itself, if possible, we try and put the things that will appeal to people the most, whether it be gluten-free, sugar-free, fat-free, 0 calorie where possible, stuff like that, because that shows people, especially like you said earlier, Wayne, a lot of people now are, more health conscious. They're picking up the product, they're turning it around, they're looking on the back of the pack. But some people don't always do that, so we like to put what we can visible on the front. So again, if you are just glancing, or something might catch your eye, or that might be relevant to you. If you're vegan and it says vegan, you're more inclined to purchase that product, for instance. So
being complete clarity then about what the product actually is straight away is the grabber.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what we've always kind of followed with any of our branding, is like it has to be clear what it is, and people need to know if it's for them, that it's loud and clear that this is for you, basically, because of whichever tick box it's got or whatever it be. Yeah.
Okay, so coming to the kind of growth again in terms of where you are now. Have you hit the 20 million turnover? Have you got back to...
Literally just super, super close to it on our 4th year. Because it's our 4th year we're having to be audited.
Right.
So it's literally, what normally takes probably, 8 weeks is taking like 16. So it's still just yet to be confirmed, but it's going to be there or thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll come to you first, James, in terms of that growth journey for yourself. What have you found to be some of the most, I don't know, let's start with maybe the biggest challenges of what you've had to therefore deal with in such a, I mean, this is hyper growth. This is not fast growth, this is hyper growth.
So the challenges.
Or maybe we don't want to start with the challenges, maybe the best things about the hyper growth.
No, the
your
challenges
experience.
is fine. There probably has been more challenges than, because we're so fast paced, and this probably comes into a bit of the challenges, probably the work-life balance.
Yeah.
You know, and as I say, we've worked 16, 18-hour days if needs be, so that's been a challenge. But we love it as well, so it's weird. Yeah. It's like, it's a challenge because it's like, it's probably more challenging for our family, and the fact that, you know, we're just, even when we're not working, we're basically working because we're thinking about it, you know, it's just, it's hard to switch off. I'd say that's probably one of the biggest challenges is like, you know, you might have finished work now and actually just stop and try and enjoy other things a little bit more, you know, but it sometimes can carry on a bit more mentally.
Because as you said, you love what you're doing.
Yeah, we love it, but yeah, you still, you know, you've got to have some time away, or, you know, do something else you enjoy, for instance, or spend more time with the children, or whatever it be, you know, things like that. So that's challenging. I think as well, it's a weird market at the moment. Right now, recruitment is quite tough, I find, at the moment, in terms of, it's just right now, it's a bit of a difficult market, and I've heard that a lot through recruitment agencies.
Everyone's saying it.
Yeah. But I think that's a challenge. I think it is, you know, because for so long we spent so much time by ourselves doing everything. So then getting to a point where you know, take on someone else, you've got to obviously find the right person. Then, you know, if you've used to be doing something yourself, handing that over can be challenging. I think we're fine with it now. But
have you managed that? Because the control element of entrepreneurs is the biggest thing that
I'm fine.
Can be the biggest hindrance.
We can give something to someone and leave them to do it now. And I think, and that's what you have to do. I think, you know, if you employ someone to do a job, you should leave them to do that job. Yeah. But obviously the main thing is employing the right person to do that job. Yeah. And sometimes, like I say, at the moment, it's quite difficult to do that because, you know, we want someone who's got, say, 5 years experience in marketing, but a lot of the applicants I'm getting have got like a year or two, and it's like, right, we want someone a bit more, you know, a bit more advanced at this stage, and that's been quite challenging. So, you know, sometimes, you know, because you can't do everything yourself, you know, you need to build a great team, and we've got some great team members anyway. We've got a good team at the moment. We're quite lean still, aren't we?
Still lean. I mean, still only 25 staff.
Yeah.
Wow, that is lean.
So.
I suppose because when we went through a bit of an exercise last year, it was like, well, what do we need? And when we worked it out, I think we did probably about 10 jobs. So we kind of had about 5 jobs. So whether it be accounts and VAT return, whether it be supply chain, whether it be design, whether it be marketing, whether it be sales. And like I say, the control, it is the biggest, well, for me, the biggest challenge is the control, because it has always been us. And we can then still talk till 3 or 4 in the morning.
I suppose at that point,
really?
you kind of get used to doing so much, so then you sometimes you don't even think, I should just employ someone to do that.
But it's crazy because
you look sprightly, both, by the way. You don't look too knackered, lads.
That's why coffee in a can's are great. 2 years worth of R&D and coffee in a can. But you say work because, I mean, we always said, look, we never want it to become a job.
Yeah.
I work 24 hours a day, just the way I'm designed and the way James is. I mean, even if we've probably known each other 5 years, we've never argued.
We know.
Never. I mean, we have a few debates and we go around the house a bit, but we never. You could ask James. I always say, you could ask James a question, or you could ask me. We'll both give the same answer because we're just. It's weird. It's so bizarre. Even on the way. Even on the way up.
Test actually at the end.
Yeah. Even on the way up. You was emailing somebody, wasn't you? Because we still get lots of email chains. We're still in. And you was emailing someone, and I got the same email, but we literally replied with the exact same message. It was so, and even had the same, because we use emojis on everything, whether it be on LinkedIn or we just. At the end of the day, life's far too short to be worrying about the small things now. Anyway, I used to worry about the small things all the time.
So you talk about the product. You've got a quality product that does come with a higher price, right? So how do you therefore safeguard from all of a sudden the price becoming the driving point that maybe stops someone from buying that product?
Yeah, so ultimately, early days we had 6 products. So we had 3 sauces, 3 syrups. But now we've got 48 syrups and 28 sauces. So across the range, we've been able to produce an essentials range.
Okay.
So ketchups, garlic mayos, mayo, barbecue, these now have a price that surrounds them and kind of ring fences them as an essential commodity product. The other 20 plus are more of a limited edition because there's still people out there with the intolerances. There's people out there who need the product still, where they might be, they might be diabetic, so they can't have the high sugared product, but they really, really want the taste of brown sauce again. in the diet, or they really, really want their chocolate spread because they've not had the biggest chocolate spread in the market for so long, because it is 60% sugar. I mean,
Nicely done there.
theirs is 60% sugar and palm oil as well. So whenever we design it, it's a case of, you know what, we'll take the palm oil out because we don't need that in. We always start with base, which is water. So the way we develop it, take the palm oil out, take the sugar out, take everything out, and then let's start building the foundations on that. Okay. And it's a case of, and ultimately we've got a bigger buying power now. So when we first started, the price per unit is probably close to, it was a lot more expensive than where we are now, because like I said, we're purchasing every single ingredient, every single packaging label, box, and we've got the full control over it.
So with the products Wayne mentioned then, some of them we were purchasing for similar price to now what we're offering the customer to buy it at.
Really?
Because we've been able to, buy in such volume and produce it ourselves, as mentioned, manufacturing indirectly. And we've actually been able to pass the saving on to the customer as well, which is something we believe in as well.
Really?
Where possible.
Especially growing up and having such a tight budget. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I posted a few weeks ago, when Iceland got their products, it was super kind of, it was a pivotal moment, because we used to go every week to Iceland to shop, because it was really value add. These stores that we launched in, it was all value added stores, because like you say, the consumer now they're all price conscious. So whether you're shopping at one of the big fours or whether you're shopping at a value added store, you can still pick up your Nescafes or your Coca-Colas or your Heinz, no matter where you're shopping. It's just a case of it meant more to us to actually get it into these, because there's still people who really, really want our products but probably can't afford it.
Yeah.
And it was a case of, you know what, let's create an essentials range
within
our brand, because it's a product that it deserves for everyone to be able to have it, and not just, 10% of the NHS budget is towards diabetes cure, not even prevention.
Really?
So it's massive. I think something like 25% of kids go to school obese at the age of 5. So and that's why we've got such a drive now on our snacking range. So we've got a whole new collection of the chocolate range, which is all to do with low sugar, no added sugar versions of the biggest chocolate bars on the market, but without having all the nasty sugars.
Tell me what it was like against the context of your upbringing to have that big offer. A multi-million pound offer that is more money than most people will ever make in their lives. What's it like to turn that down?
For me, we've never been driven by money, to be fair. It's always about happiness, to be fair. And it's like now, is that we're not yacht people, we're not helicopter people. I'll let James buy that, he uses. Or I'll use someone else's. But no, we're not really flashy people, to be fair. Yeah. And it's not not materialistic at all.
So it's easy.
To be fair, we got approached by a number of companies direct, and it was open to discussing, because we thought, why not? There's no harm in a conversation, see what happens. We don't know much about that side of the business, exiting, etc. We wasn't ready to. And I remember, after a couple of conversations with one particular company, they were like, so what's your reason for wanting to do this? I said, well, we don't. We just politely having a conversation with you. We don't need to do this. We don't want to. We love what we do. We're happy to carry on doing this. It's fun. This is what we kind of born to do. We love waking up and going to work and bringing out new products and, engaging with our customers and finding what they want next. So it wasn't like, we need you. They wanted to be involved with us. So it was, so that was like...
So it was easy.
That mixed with the fact that, if it did drop tomorrow and there was a huge check, or because we probably would do the old, what everyone does is go and check the bank account and check it, we've got these zeros. I don't know what I'd do.
Really?
I'm rubbish at golf, so I couldn't do that.
Me too.
I just would not. And even both our partners have probably said the exact same, well, what would you do? Because
you're young.
Even if we had to, I'd still always want some sort of shares within the business, because I can see where it's going to go in the next 20 years. What we're trying to achieve is become the millennial brand of a healthier eating product and a healthier eating arrangement of products.
And that's how, therefore, you've got this 200 million mark, because that's with that market. That's how you achieve
well,
that.
That's it. You see the sky's the limit, isn't there?
I think you're undercooking with 200 million.
Well, it's crazy because we're always conservative. That's a big infrastructure. And it's funny though, because we'll probably get some negativity. Oh yeah, well, they might not sound materialistic, but it's got a swimming pool. But at the end of the day, if I didn't have one, I'm still more of a, like I said, an applications person. And I do love manual labour. I'd just go and build one. I'd build it myself if I had to. I'd find a cheap way to do it, and I'd fill it with probably cost a fortune, mine, but I would. I'd find a way of doing it. Or if I had to, you know what? I'd go and work another 3 jobs, because that's just the way. I don't really see. I've got to be involved. Don't get me wrong. I couldn't do something that I didn't enjoy, but I'd always make a way to enjoy it. But yeah, it's just the way I'm designed. And James is the same, to be fair. Cause
it sounds like you two are completely and utterly on the same wavelength. Is that right? You know, you were saying, you know, when they said to you, why are you doing this? It's like, well, because we're kind of having a conversation. We don't really know why we're going down this route. So they were probably thinking,
we're not knocking your door, you're knocking ours. Honestly, you know. Like,
and then when you used 20 years there, you know, you were talking about 20 years time.
Yeah.
So that's what's so exciting about this. You're 4 years in, but it's clearly 4 years in at the start of what potentially is going to be a very long journey still to come. Would you say that's right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're both young. We've both got a lot to give.
It's funny because we'll have a pick back and forth and say WhatsApp, because James will go, we'd have a little banter going, oh yeah, well, my previous business we was turning over 2 million, so obviously we've gone times it by 10. But James will go, oh yeah, but you'll still be doing your 2 million if it wasn't for me. But you've got 20 years here. I'm fast tracking you in my 20 years worth of pain. She goes, yeah, but in 20 years I'll be retired. I said, you'll never be retired because you'll always be looking for something new. Yeah. And it is, and across the years we've known each other, we'll get sidetracked, and whether it's just an entrepreneurial trait, but it is, you'll see something, you go, you know what, I could probably do a better job than that, or what's that market like? And it is you need to rein it in, because we've got really healthy profits. You're not going to get these profits from something that we don't know, and at the end of the day, I know nutrition, I know design, and I know my keys.
You've got a passion towards something as well. I mean, you can't just do something for the fun of it. You've got to be, you know, you've got to have some sort of knowledge and passion towards something, I think, to get good levels of success with it. And I think that's why we have with Skinny Food Co, because we genuinely love it. We are passionate about what we do. I think anything that we see that fits in within our product range will do well. But like Wayne says, you know, there's other things where you think, oh, that could be good. We probably could. But yeah, then we soon think, well, it's not really, we're not passionate about that, so we're not actually that bothered, really.
Yeah. I mean, I always love asking this, because it's you learn so much in this question, but whether it's the best piece of advice you've ever been given or the best piece of advice you would give, whichever one you want to take with that question, given or give?
For me, it's always come down to organisation.
Yeah.
Organisation and just graft. If you're willing to organise yourself and put the hours in, look, I've failed so many times. I mean, I've lost cars. At one point, I was financially mortgage free and risked everything. It's just believe in yourself and just take all the failures. They're just all little kind of stepping stones to that successful pivotal moment in your career. And it's a case of just keep going. Keep going. Just be passionate and be focused and driven, and ultimately do your research as well.
Yes.
Find a gap. There's still lots and lots of gaps out there.
Yep.
And just enjoy it.
You got some in your head that you think?
Yeah. I mean, we've probably got 30 trademark products sat there at company's house, ready to go.
Really? Wow.
But yeah, it's just knowing when the right time's to go.
And James?
I think just doing what you enjoy, and you know, the saying, isn't there? It's kind of, what is the saying? I'm on the spot. What's the saying? It's like what?
Something like, if you enjoy your work, if you enjoy your job, you never have to work a day. Yeah,
that is exactly
your life.
Yeah. That's pretty much one that I think is good. Yeah.
Well, I have loved. I mean, my face is quite sore. We've been laughing with each other, but it's a brilliant. It's just, for me, it's a perfect. It's a perfect story, because you've got two guys here that you really love working with each other, don't you? You respect what you do, you have your strengths that you play to. But most importantly, I think what you've taught me more than anything is, if you're prepared to work really, really damn hard, you know, and you've got a great product, but if you're really prepared to graft at it and give it everything, you've got a good chance that some good stuff's going to happen, right?
Yeah. And just, same again, use your networks and your contacts, just lean on people.
Yeah.
I mean, I get loads of messages all the time, just little pockets of advice. It's just a case of, look, and I'll always give time to people, because that's just the type of person I am.
Yeah.
But and that's why we turned on, through COVID, we turned on our third-party brand. So other brands on the market, you can name 100, you go to their website and you buy their brand. on ours. There's another, I mean, we've got 280 products, but there's 760 now, including all the third parties. And I mean, that might range from, I won't give any names, but it could range from another protein bar all the way through to an oat milk, for example. And it was a case of, look, we get over 1 million people visit our site every month.
Do you?
1 million people, we do. On average, 30 to 40,000 orders a month. Even just by including people's leaflets within our orders can give another startup brand a chance, because it's 40,000 new customers they could potentially have. And it was a case of, look, we was once there. We didn't have a website with, I mean, when we launched it, we was at a trade show in Germany. Everyone else going out with canapes and cocktails. We was in the bedroom doing a Shopify website, turning the website. We did it in literally 4 hours. And it was only 4 years ago, last year, that we actually decided actually we need a proper website now. Because it generated over 1 million orders with a free website off the shelf, £150 template. And it just goes to show you can create something from nothing.
Yes.
You've just, I mean,
I was building. I was like, right, man, give me an image that looks like this. I was plonk that in there. I mean, just learning on the job. You know,
we couldn't even afford the first order. The first order was for 12 grand. So we invested 3, but there was probably a year behind the scenes, designing, developing, trademarking, all this stuff. So that was the 3 grand. The first order was about 12 grand. We couldn't afford it. We'd sold out before it arrived. So we had, and the beauty of online is obviously the money's in the bank 2 or 3 days later, so we could afford to pay for the order.
Yeah.
Little did we know the orders have been bigger, but same again, we've always been really, let's go and order a truckload. It was a case of, let's order a pallet of each.
Well, I'm really glad to say that it's wonderful that you're going to be around for years to come. I'm glad you're not going to sell, because it's just, you can feel how much fun this is. And I can't wait to keep on cheering you on with this and seeing what you're going to be doing over the years to come. 200, $500 million.
Why not?
200 million.
Yeah.
But listen, thanks a million. You've been awesome, and very best of luck.
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you.